What up, gang? I'm back with another video. I say I'm back with another video. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Yes, I said subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. It's free. Do it for me. What up, gang? I'm back with another video. Let's get straight into it, man. Your boy Vlad brought on Hurricane Chris, who just beat a case of killing the man that tried to break in his car or broke into his car in 2020 at a gas station. Y'all know Hurricane Chris, the famous rapper. Hey baby, hey baby. Man, we have another BTB situation. Now y'all know what happened to BTB situation. He came up on Vlad. He spoke on how he killed Omar Richardson. That interview and a couple of posts and tweets and TikToks led to his demise and the death of Omar Richardson. Hurricane Chris came on and Vlad spent about 30 to 40 minutes just talking about the killing. But one thing I did notice, Vlad put in the clips this time of Hurricane Chris sending his condolences out to the family of the man he killed. BTB Savage, his mom said it was a clip in there where he was sending his condolences out to the family, but Vlad edited that out. So it looked like he learned from his mistakes and he kept this part of Hurricane Chris sending his condolences to the family in the interview. But let's just check out a piece of what happened with the Hurricane Chris situation, killing a man in 2020 that broke into his car at a gas station. Check it out.
All right, here we go. Today we have Hurricane Chris, fresh off beating a second-degree murder charge where he was facing life in prison.
And like I told y'all with the BTB situation, only reason why Vlad interviewed BTB Savage is because he wanted him to talk about that murder. Vlad don't care about BTB Savage music because BTB Savage wasn't at a level where Vlad would interview him for his music. It was about the story of the murder. This is the same situation. Yes, Hurricane Chris was a legend and is a legend, and he had major hits, but as of right now, Hurricane Chris do not have one song out right now that's a hit. So this interview is mainly to talk about the killing that happened in 2020. This is the only reason why Hurricane Chris got an interview with VladTv.
Welcome to VladTv.
Ain't God good?
Yeah, man, congratulations. When I heard the news, I was extremely happy.
I appreciate that. Man. Yeah, I've been going through this for 3 years, Vlad, so it's like now I feel like I could breathe and live again. Every breath I was taking felt artificial for 3 years. It felt like I was just waiting to die. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's major. It's a major thing to have that weight lifted off of my back. You feel me?
Well, you were here in 2021 when the case was still pending, so I didn't really want to talk about it back then because it was a very serious pending case.
And that's where now you let me stop some. And a lot of people try to talk down on you and say you cause people to say stuff that they shouldn't have said. I went through my neighborhood after I did the interview with you, and everybody asked me. I said, "Bruh, he ain't trying to make me say nothing that made me uncomfortable or that would incriminate myself or nothing." I said, "Bro, he was straight up. Like, I don't know what they talking about. He was straight up with me. Like, bro didn't try to harm me at all." You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you. You know, he was very sensitive to what was going on when we did the interview, and I can testify to that.
Absolutely.
You're real.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and actually talk about the situation. You know, you reached out on DM. You said, "Hey, you know,
And that's just like I told y'all. Y'all heard what Hurricane Chris said out his own mouth. Hurricane Chris got an interview with DJ Vlad after this happened, when it first happened. And
No, he didn't have a hit single popping, but Vlad brung him on because it just happened. And by Hurricane Chris' name being in the news, that was gonna bring views to Vlad. So Vlad know what he doing. Vlad brung him on because the name was already in the news, but he didn't have no music or nothing. And people thought that, okay, he was gonna talk about it. But Vlad is very good, I must say, about this. If you got an ongoing case, Vlad will not talk about that situation. He will bring it up, but he won't go into detail with that situation. And like Hurricane Chris say, Vlad ain't making motherfuckers say nothing. You know what I'm saying? You only gonna say whatever you want to say, so it's up to you to go up there and say what you gonna say. So mind you, Vlad is very smart. Vlad brought him in 2021 to do the interview, knowing he ain't have no motion. But the reason why he brought him, because his name was in the news, and they ain't even talk about what he brought him on there for. He just know everybody was gonna click on it because his name was in the news. Now he brought him back after the case so he could really run the views up.
Just beat the case. I'm ready to talk about it. I want to go into the details. I said, if you're comfortable talking about it, then we can go ahead and talk about it. So let's go ahead and lead up to the actual situation.
And mind you, he just put that in there because he learned from the VladTv Savage situation. So he put it on record to be known. Okay, Hurricane Chris hit me up and said he want to talk about it. So I told him, if he's comfortable to talk about it, we can talk about it. That's his safety pillar, because he got a lot of backlash for the VladTv Savage interview.
On June 19th, 2020. Now, you were in a 2016 Mercedes at the time.
Right.
And there was some confusion as to the ownership of the Mercedes, because later on you find out that the Mercedes was registered as a stolen vehicle.
Right.
Right? Now, from what I understand, this was your ex-girlfriend's car. So tell me about that whole situation of why you were in that particular Mercedes that day.
It was actually a car that I purchased in her name, and when we put it in her name, I drove it ever since then. It was just a car that I had in somebody else's name. It was actually my vehicle. She never drove the vehicle, never had a key to the vehicle. I had insurance on it since day one. It just was in her name.
Okay, why did she report it stolen though?
She reported it stolen because when we was in California, we had a argument, and I told her I was leaving California, going back to Texas, and I wasn't rocking with her no more. So she actually came to court and testified to the fact that that's why she reported it stolen. She said that we had an argument, and she woke up the next day and she reported the car stolen.
Hey, I want to give y'all a little game on that too. All the people that's coming up that haven't been through this, that haven't experienced this situation. A lot of people put stuff in other people's name. But let me tell you something. I don't care if you bought it. I don't care if it's really yours. If that person fall out with you and they call the police and say they want that car, they want that house, guess what? That's their shit, because it's in their name if they pay for it or not. So all the homies that's out here in these streets that's putting their cars in their girl name, think about that though. Because once y'all break up, all she gotta do is call the police. If you pay for it or not, that's her car.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. So you're in this car that's technically your car.
Yep.
And you pull up to the Texaco gas station.
Yep.
What happens next?
I get out of the car at the Texaco. I talked to some people I know for a while, and we just standing outside. Something I do in my community very often. If I see somebody I know, we might stand there until the cows come home, just talking. It's the area that I was raised in, and I know almost every face. So, I mean, it's just something I'm comfortable doing. And as we were standing outside talking, somebody started breaking into the car, opening the car door. I run to my car. When I run to my car, I see him. at my car door. He didn't open my car. I got an AR-15 inside the vehicle. He didn't open it. It's right on the front seat. I approached with my weapon drawn, saying, "Step away from the vehicle." Immediately, now, step away from the vehicle.
So for the people don't understand, he's at a gas station talking to somebody. He left his car at the gas pump. Somebody went in his car and he got a gun, a rifle in his car. So when he approached the dude, he got his gun drawn because he know he got a rifle inside that bitch. All dude got to do is grab a rifle.
As I'm saying this, he take a step towards me and start uttering stuff out of his mouth. Threats and a bunch of other stuff that I couldn't understand. Stuff that I could understand about what he would do to me and shooting me, killing me. And things I didn't understand, which was a bunch of mumbling, which witnesses testified to as well. At that moment, I take a step back to try to create some space in between us. Because I got a weapon drawn, and at this moment, I don't want you to get too close and attempt to disarm me. So I take a step back. And if I ever give you the footage, that's where you'll see I'm not in the camera frame no more. At this point, he's standing there, continue mumbling, making threats out of his mouth. I keep my weapon trained on him, saying step away from the vehicle. I even yell for anybody else that's in the parking lot, "Hey, y'all, run around behind him," because he's reaching towards his pocket at this point. So I'm yelling for people to run around behind him and look and see what that is he's reaching for in his pocket, like. And at the same time, I'm steady commanding him, "Get your hands away from your pocket. Step away from the vehicle." In the midst of that, he continued to utter threats, put his hand by his pocket. Now, my life is flashing before my eyes like it ain't never flashed before. I'm standing in front of you with a weapon drawn, and your reaction is to look at me, utter a threat, take a step closer to me, and then dig into your pocket. So you know what's going through my mind. Oh, I done ran into a real problem.
Hey, and this right here remind me of what BTB Savage said, as he alleged. We don't know if it's true or not, but he said that Omar wouldn't give up. He was there for a reason. That's what he was gonna do. And Hurricane Chris is basically saying, like, he got a dude at gunpoint and telling dude, bro, just take your hand out your pockets. Like, you got your hand in your pocket, now you making it unsafe for me. And dude is telling him he gonna kill him and do all type of shit with his hand in his pocket. He could easily come out and pull out a gun and just shoot.
And it's not like I react instantly and use force instantly. I plead with him for over a minute to get your hands away from your pocket and step away from the vehicle, which witnesses testified to as well. Well, a guy that was walking in the store and walking out of the store heard this. So when he walked in, I was telling him to get away from the car. When he walked out, I was still commanding him to step away from the car and get his hands away from his pocket. Witnesses say he heard a man say, "I don't know what you got in your pocket. Get your hands away from your pocket." He continued to reach into his pocket, dug deeper while making threats and while I was commanding him not to go any further into his pocket. And that's when I had to use force and fear of my life. You know, what happened was, it was a fucked up situation, Vlad, because when the police came, they were supposed to have enough sense to know all we gotta do is run the video back and see what happened. I told them everything that happened. I stayed on the scene. I dialed 911. They still tried to find a way to use my words against me and arrest me, bro.
Hey, and I want to say this, man. I listened to what Hurricane Chris said.
This is different from the BTB Savage situation. It is witnesses out there that testified on his behalf. What he said was right. I played with the guy. Please take your hand out your pocket, just back away. You know, the guy didn't do it. is videotape shows what Hurricane Chris said was right. Another thing is, this guy that he killed is from his same community. He grew up with family members of this guy he killed. You feel me? So if Hurricane Chris still lived in that community, his life may be in danger. Just because, as we learned, just because someone was in the wrong, that don't mean their family is gonna react the right way. Hurricane Chris sent his condolences to the family, and Vlad made sure he didn't make that mistake like I spoke on in the beginning. Again, like we said, BTB Savage sent his condolences, but Vlad took that part out and just made it seem like BTB Savage was on demon time, which he was on demon time, but he also had a part in the interview where he sent his condolences. I think Vlad learned from the BTB situation, and he tried to conduct himself a little better when it came to pushing out the narrative of these situations. But y'all get in the comment and tell me what you think. You think Hurricane Chris will get backlash, or do you think he handled himself well in this situation on VladTv, speaking on the situation? Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. It's free. Do it for me. Okay. Hey, do me a favor. Look down right there to the bottom left and hit that like button for me. Hit that like button right there. I appreciate it. Now continue watching.
Promo alert, promo alert. If you need promo, DM me on Instagram at music101CEO. Music101CEO. $30 for one promo video on YouTube. $50 for 3 promo videos on YouTube. $70 for 6 promo videos on YouTube. And $130 for 12 promo videos on YouTube. You trying to get your numbers up? You trying to get your business up? Hit me up at Music101.
See, the results is great.